Hello, welcome back to another episode on Red Bull. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe and leave a like. Let's get into the story now. Thanks everyone for the kind words and advice.
Original story. My wife cheated on me with a neighbor. Help. Traditional. If you feel bad, so here goes my story. I've been married to my wife for 14 years and been with her for over 20 because of being high school sweethearts. Traditional. If you feel bad, so here goes my story. I've been married to my wife for 14 years and been with her for over 20 because of being high school sweethearts. I found out about 2 months ago that she cheated on me with a neighbor. I caught her basically because our kids blew it for her with telling me about their day, and her being in the asshole's house for the amount of time she was alone didn't make sense to me. I asked my one daughter, where was mommy when you guys came back, and I don't know, she was inside and said that the girl that went in said that the other guy said he'd be right out. Huh? So long story short, I confronted her the next day, and just like any other cheater, she tried to lie at first and then finally broke down. She swears that all they did was kiss and he touched her chest, then she stopped it because it felt wrong. I kicked her out the following day, and since we have gone to counseling and she has mocked back in. I'll be honest, I did it more for my kids than her because it was hell without them in my life. Yes, I still saw them, but it took a lot more effort and was always awkward. Now here comes my questions. After talking to her and going to counseling, they had been sexting for about 3 weeks. She sent him pictures and he sent them to her. She says that she only sent pictures of her face and her butt in jeans that were actually her, and pulled pictures offline of other people's tits and vaginas that she sent to him as her own. By the way, I don't believe that. He sent her a picture of his junk, and when I asked, I said, let me guess, he's big, and of course she said no, not at all, he's actually little. Again, I don't believe it. My question is there a real chance that it stopped at a kiss, and if so, did it stop because she truly felt wrong or the kids came home? Because I don't see two adults that have been talking about sex for 3 weeks that given a chance and the kids are gone for what was a relative long time don't knock it out. The other thing to you guys out there that have gone through this, how do you have sex with your wife again? We have had sex since, but sometimes. And more times than not. The thought of did he do this to you too comes into my head. I can't get it out of my head. Then this past weekend we started to have sex, and when I went in her, she was so tight that it instantly got me mad. I'm not a small guy. I'm 6'2", 225 and pretty well endowed, but instantly the thought came in, well, we haven't had sex in about a week and a half and she's not banging him, so that's why she got so tight, and that's why she's been looser, because he actually was bigger than me, and she lied about that also. She swears to me on her life that she didn't sleep with him, and she has been very remorseful about cheating on me. The problem is that after being with someone for that long, 24 years, I know how much she lies to everybody. And how good she is at it. Please help if you've been through this or you cheated on your husband, boyfriend. I'm literally going crazy because I do love her, but it's starting to feel like love you have for a long-time friend and not a love you feel for your wife. I honestly don't care to have sex with her, and she wants it non-stop. That's the other part I forgot in all this. She before this is a man's wet dream. She could and would have sex morning, noon and night. She loves oral and never, and I mean never, says no. That adds to my thought that she didn't stop at a point that I can forgive. Because she loves sex. Sorry I rambled on, but this has truly cut me to the core. Thank you in advance for your comments. Story 2. Found out my wife is cheating with a married neighbor. I'm not sure what to do. Little backstory. I've been through some serious medical issues, brain tumor, and have had multiple surgeries since 2016. My wife has been awesome throughout, and I've even told her multiple times that I'm amazed that she's stuck with me. Shit has imploded. Though. Since the middle of last year. I lost my job due to my disability. I'm at a way lower paying job now and can't afford the mortgage, and we're going to go through bankruptcy. We have been in our house for over 5 years. We know our neighbors and have hung out with them a handful of times a year since then. Recently. Our kids have been playing every day with the neighbors' kids, which hasn't ever happened until the past month or so. My wife is much more friendly with the neighbor's wife. But lately the husband has been over a lot. Of course. I had my suspicions. I nonchalantly talked about why they were over all the time lately, and she just talked about how well the kids were getting along. Then, on Friday, I noticed when I came home that the sliding glass door in our room was unlocked. We never use that door because it barely opens and is on its last leg. I asked her about it, and she said the kids were running in and out of the backyard. The kids have never used that door and my wife has never let the neighbor's kids in our bedroom. I didn't say anything, my heart sank. But I just said, "Oh." Now this is where I did something unlike me and I know it is a complete invasion of her privacy. But I downloaded an app that links to her phone on my iPad so I could see all her messages. We've always been totally transparent when it comes to our phones. She doesn't have a lock on it and she often asks me to text people from her phone. After I downloaded the app, these are the messages that came to my iPad on Saturday. Neighbor. Everybody went to Target really quick. Open or slider if you want me to come. Delete this. My wife. I'm gross right now by the way. I was just going to take a shower. Neighbor. I don't care, I'm gross too. My wife. Okay. Neighbor. 15 minutes later, sorry to be so quick lol. Delete this, they just got back right now. Delete this too lol. My wife. I will delete, don't worry. Then the next day. My wife. Miss you. I like hearing your voice. The worst part is that my kids were playing in the front while my neighbor was fooping my wife on my bed. I know because we have the Ring doorbell and get motion alerts when the kids are over. I have no idea how to approach this. She's been getting mad at little things that I've always done and we have been arguing more the past month, which now makes sense. But I'm having a really hard time not holding my emotions back, so we're fighting even more. I can't tell her I know because she'll know that I've seen her texts after she deleted them, so it's not like I stumbled upon the texts when I looked at her phone. How do I approach this situation? Also, when and if we do figure it out and hopefully stay together, how are we going to keep letting our kids play together? I don't see any other way than moving. But that will be a huge financial hit and it might not even be possible once our credit tanks after the bankruptcy. I am so lost right now. TLDR. My wife is cheating with my married neighbor and I found out after having suspicions by connecting her phone to my iPad and seeing her texts. Absolutely no idea how to approach this situation. Story 3. Throw away because my wife knows my username here. My wife had a pretty healthy relationship since we moved in. We've had this neighbor named Robert. He's a single blue-collar working man who loves to fix up his car and other projects. I've tried to set him up with women, but he often would either decline or go on a date only to return and say something like it was fun. But I'm not really looking for anyone right now, which I find odd considering his age. Anyway, my wife is almost 8 months pregnant and ultimately she's working from home from a financial advising firm of sorts. So I've been going to work more. And in my free time I go hang out with my friends and drink. We've been planning a nursery for the longest time, and while I've had all the furniture, I never found time to set it up. So 2 weeks ago, I come home and not only is the nursery painted, but the furniture is set up completely, waiting to be arranged. My wife isn't home and I waited an hour before I see her smiling and laughing in Robert's car unloading groceries. Now I am already insulted that this man is involving himself so much in my life. But I allow it because I haven't suspected anything yet. He brings in the groceries and starts making small talk before he uninvites himself and goes home, leaving me and my wife. I ask her what the hell is she doing with Robert, and she tells me he's just been helping around the house. Like I'm not supposed to be upset that I have a fully grown adult man in my house with my pregnant wife while I'm not home. 3 days later, I come home early to find him in my kitchen fixing my dishwasher. Again, something I was going to do. I snatch him up and demand to know what he's been up to with my wife, and he's acting like it's nothing going on. My wife is visibly upset, and so I take her phone, and sure enough they've been texting each other. Honestly, it was nothing incriminating. Mostly favor exchanges. Robert helping and my wife helping him with his bank accounts. I feel like it was like a dog whistle where they were using code. Either way, I left to go to my friend's house because I don't want to deal with this right now. She's kept calling, but I just ignored. When I finally decided to talk, she straight up told me to not bother coming home this night. I can't prove that they are having an affair, but I can feel it with how Robert is so often present and how they interact. I feel betrayed by both of them. To be honest, how should I approach this? TL. Doctor, I confronted my bastard neighbor and my wife, and now she's upset with me.
Thank you for watching.